Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Sip and Say with Stephanie. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing this evening? It is wonderful to see you. I feel like I'm having there we go. I was about to say, I feel like I'm having a little bit of concerns there, but I see. How y'all doing this evening? It is such a pleasure, as always, to come into your home, your car, your office, wherever you might be. And y'all know I normally say that on a Be Free Ministries. Let's talk about a Bible edition Bible study, but sometimes I will say it during the Sip and Say with Stephanie nights. But the Sip and Say with Stephanie, it is Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. I am thankful to be alive. I'm so thankful to be alive today. I'm thankful for the goodness of God, the power of God, the grace of God. I'm thankful for honesty and integrity and humility. I'm thankful for covering and protection and peace. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for my coworkers, my colleagues. I'm thankful for shelter and food. Thankful that I have a vehicle to drive. Thankful for employment. I am thankful to God for being so good to me. And so y'all always are, everything not perfect in life, but God is good. He is the perfect one. And because he is perfect and because he is on his throne, because he is in control, all is well. Let me tell you something. All is well. Hallelujah. God is so good. Y'all, look. Y'all know how I get. So let me go on and move forward in the program, right? Because y'all know when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all he has done for me, and y'all know my testimony, most of it, good portion of it anyway, my soul cries out, hallelujah. I thank God for saving me, for delivering me, for healing me, for keeping me, for protecting me, for providing for me, for giving me joy and peace and love and patience. Because y'all know I'm an educator. I need that patience, not only for myself, but with the kids, with the colleagues sometimes, and everybody. Praise God. I for provision, just for provision for my emotional health, provision for my mental health, provision for my physical health, my financial health, my spiritual health, my social health. I thank God all the way around because He's good. Hallelujah. But again, this is Sip and Say with Stephanie. In case you are here for the first time, welcome to the Stephanie Humphrey channel. This is Sip and Say with Stephanie, which we host every third and fourth Thursday. And believe it or not, y'all, this is the fourth Thursday in July, and next Thursday will be the fifth Thursday. You all know I rest on the fifth Thursday. I don't know if I'll rest next week or not. I say that almost every time, don't I? Don't know that if I'm gonna rest or not, but I might. I might go ahead and rest next Thursday, or I might come on and do something special for us. We'll see. We'll see. You just have to tune in next Thursday, July. I got my calendar in my hand. July 30th at 6:30 p.m. to see what the Lord gonna say, right? See what's gonna happen, right? All right, y'all. How y'all doing? And I'm about to ask you how y'all doing. How are you doing mentally? How are you doing spiritually? How are you doing emotionally? How are you doing mentally? How are you doing socially? How are you all doing? I am doing pretty good. I got some stuff to do after I get off the broadcast. So I'm just like, ugh, not really happy about stuff. Y'all know dishes need to be washed, floor need to be swept. Like I just got stuff to do. But I'm thankful. I'm happy. I'm excited for the future and what is to come. I'm excited for what God is doing, for what He has promised to do, for what He will do, not only for my life, but for your life as well. I am Yeah, I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited. I'm a little. Am I tired today? I don't feel tired. I feel like my voice sounds tired. Y'all, I'm just gotta keep praying over my voice because I don't know. it be finicky sometimes, but my voice sounds like I'm tired, but I'm not. I don't feel tired. At least I don't feel tired. I got some really good sleep last night. Y'all, I went to bed early. Got some really good sleep last night, and I feel pretty good. So what are y'all sipping on? I'm sipping on straight H2O. So I did not bring over a small water bottle. I'm actually sipping on my water from the day. So it's in my big, humongous bottle with all of my beautiful be still and know that I am God. Y'all know I got to I will not be shaken. And what's the other one I got? God is with me. I will not fear. So I'm drinking from my big old water bottle that I keep throughout the day. So I'm trying to finish that up, right? 64 ounces of water. Where am I at? I'm about three-fourths done. So tell me what you're sipping on. Add it to the chat if you like to, or you may put it in the comment section later if you're listening to the rebroadcast. There was some. Oh, I was in the store with my. It wasn't this water bottle. It was maybe it might have been this one or another one. And I was checking out at the store, and the cashier was like, "What you got? What you drinking in there?" Straight H2O, straight H2O. Don't get me in trouble up in here in this store. Okay, look, y'all, Black History Facts. So again, today is July 23rd, 2026. But on July 23rd, 1942, declaring segregation a quote unquote basic necessity, Alabama's governor refuses a federal contract with a non discrimination clause. But race is not a factor in the world today. And yes, I know this happened in 1942, 52, 62, 72, 82, 92, 2002, 2012, 2022, a little over 80 years ago. Not long ago at all. I mean, 80 years, when we think about age is a beautiful, beautiful age, but as it relates to segregation and race relations, racism, classism, and how Black people are treated in America, it was not that long ago. In Mississippi, I'm sorry, got my wrong M. In Fayette, Missouri, on July 22nd, 1899, moments before his trial is to begin, a white mob whips Frank Embry, a Black man, over 100 times and hangs him in front of more than 1,000 onlookers. On July 21st, 1913, 35 Black men burned to death while trapped inside a locked dormitory at Oakley Farm Prison Camp in Hinds County, Mississippi. On July 20th, 1958, I said 1958, I said 1958, three white officers at the Nashville City Workhouse beat to death Richard Lillard, a Black man, while he begs for his life. They are later acquitted by an all-white jury. July 24th, 1972, the Washington Star exposes the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, a study conducted on Black sharecroppers in Alabama by the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, in case you didn't know. Woo, woo. I mean, the sins that need to be atoned for in these here united, I say divided states of America. On July 25th, 1946, a mob of 30 armed and unmasked men lynches two Black couples, George and May Dorsey, and Roger and Dorothy Malcolm, near Moores Ford Bridge in Walton County, Georgia. Does not say what they did or why they were lynched. Probably just for being Black, just for having this beautiful brown skin that we are wrapped in, was probably all the reason that was needed. But I'd have to look up and see if a reason is provided in research as to why this crime happened. All right, y'all. I just have a bit of news. I told you I got stuff to do. So I only have a little bit of news to share with us. I was looking at the vote in the Senate concerning whether they were going to fund Trump's continued attack on Iran, and so I didn't get the last report, so I don't have it tonight. And so check it out for yourself and find out. I know House, the House actually, what was it, 216 to 212? I think it was 216 to 212 in favor of not funding the conflict in Iran. If I have my numbers correctly, y'all can definitely check to make sure because I'm going by my memory. I didn't write it down. But the House, and the Senate, I'm sorry, the Senate is, I don't know what their final decision was. But either way, regardless, even if it is passed, Trump would have to, he has the power to veto it. So, um, so I don't know. It's interesting that we call this conflict a war because y'all, I'm just rubbing my head because it's just like so ridiculous because only Congress can declare war according to the Constitution. But Congress has allowed Donald Trump to start this war, is what it is, and with Iran, and it's exhausting the level of control that they meaning Congress, House and Senate, more specifically Senate, and the Supreme Court of the United States has allowed this one person to commit crime after crime, treason after treason. It's so exhausting to keep up with all of the stuff that is happening with this current administration. I can't remember the name of the person who's over. Oh, I'm not even gonna talk about it because I can't think of his name or what he's over. He's an interim director. I can't think of his name, who, when testifying, and I don't even remember which subcommittee it was in, because I was only saw a little clip that he actually noted that he works for the person who is named as the president, because I will never call him that. He works for him, not the American people, but him. And I was just like, we all knew that this is how many Republicans think. But for him to say it out loud and for the record was, I don't know if he realized he was doing that or if he was just felt justified. But he said he worked for Donald Trump, not for the people. We live in some very unusual times, very concerning times, very alarming times, and it behooves all of us, including myself, to pay attention to what's going on, at least for those who live in America, for us to pay attention to what's going on. I have not been keeping up with the news as much as I should over this last week or two. I have not been as focused on the news. I've been focused on certain aspects of the news, let me say it like that, but not as much of what's going on in the government as I should. And so I need to get back on the good fit and getting informed about what's happening. But we're living in some alarming times, and it would behoove all of us to stay informed. I've even started just this week. I started listening to the news more, and let me say that correctly. This week, I've started listening to more mainstream news because before I had paused listening to mainstream news outside of the weather. I would log on or turn the TV on for weather, see what was happening with the swelling heat, and we've had storms this week. But just listening to the weather. But this week, I've been tuned in to mainstream media, and I was just like, there's a lot going on. I have consistently been watching Black owned media for a number of years now. And that's what my focus has been. That's the news that I've been watching for the last several weeks and months. Just Black owned news, Black Press USA, Keeping It Real with Al Sharpton, um, Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. I haven't been catching as much of Clay Kane and Reese Colbert or Tabitha Speaks, but I need to get, because I see a little bit of them and I need to get more consistent about, or more consistent in watching those news outlets more frequently, or more consistently. Those the last ones I just named. So I've been getting my news. Oh, did I say Black Press USA? Black Press USA with Sister Niele. So that's where I've been getting my news. And y'all, it's a lot. It's a lot going on in the world, but in Black media, you get some more specific details with what is happening in Black America and with Black people. And so, yeah, it was there that I learned, like, I don't watch professional sports anymore. I'm gonna get to this news, right? I don't watch professional sports anymore. I've been protesting since Colin Kaepernick, a silent protest. I'm good with that. But when I was listening to Black Press USA with Sister Niele, I think on Monday, Let It Be Known, news, headlines and topics. I think it's switched to headlines and topics. Either way, um, I found out that the NBA is, and this was on Monday, so I don't know why I haven't got an update for today, but they're actually holding up, or have paused finalizing the schedule, the NBA schedule for the 2026-2027 year, because LeBron James has not decided which team he wants to go with. I was like, that's a lot of power for one person, right? To hold up an entire professional sports season because you haven't decided which team you're going to play with, not which team going to choose you, but which team you're going to play with. So when they reported that, I was just like, I didn't know. I didn't know that there was that much, power. At least that's my thought on it. That LeBron James had that much power. So I was sharing it with the family members, sent over the news articles, and I was like, okay, go ahead on. I'm not mad at that at all. So for those of you who didn't know that, that is real. It was several news outlets reported that. And I was just like, oh my goodness. So anyway, I was just rambling. Let me get into the news that I have written down. But anyway, so I would not have known that, unless I was looking at Black Press USA, and because I don't watch professional sports anymore. And so I wouldn't have known it unless I heard like family or my colleagues, or church members, like church sisters and brothers talking about it. Because, I do listen. I tune in sometimes when the men are talking sports. And so I get tickled sometimes just listening to them. I try not to butt in, but I have before, but I try not to. Okay, let's get into the news. Short and sweet. So we all know I did not write anything or type anything out for Brother Nolan Wells. I feel like most of us know the information that has gone out about Brother Wells, who passed away. Well, I don't know when he passed away, but his body was found. I got 2 days. I want to say July 4th, but I can't remember if he was noted to have died on July 4th or his body was found July 7th. I just want to make sure I have that correct. I didn't type it in. Okay, so I was all wrong. So Brother Wells' body was found on Horn Island on July 6th. So it was 2 days after the party that he had with his friends on July 4th. And so I think it is saying that his time of death or his date of death is July 4th. His body was found on July 6th. And I'm pretty sure all of us have heard reports about, Brother Wells. So I won't dive more into it. But I did watch his funeral online, and child, it broke my heart listening to his mom, Miss Christine, and his dad, Mr. I can't think of his dad's name right now, but Mr. Wells, listening to them talk about their son. I wish I could remember his name, but I can't think of Mr. Wells' name. But Miss Christine is Nolan's mom. Um, Yeah. And so I know the autopsy has the report for the independent autopsy has been released. I have not listened to any news outlets about it. I haven't, I think I read just a snippet of information, not really meaning to, but I'm not ready to read it or listen to it quite yet. I don't think my heart is ready for that. But the report is out, and there are plenty of news outlets that have reported on the results of the independent autopsy. So you all feel free to look that up yourselves because you will not get it here. Because I just have not been able to listen to those reports or read them. And so I brought up Brother Nolan Wells, and I pray that his family does get answers about what happened with his death. We know that there are conflicting reports about what happened with the individuals that were with him. There were, reports about them leaving him on the island because he had met up with a young lady or potentially someone else. Um, Different things. You all can read it for yourself. I think there's been enough information and news outlets reporting on Brother Nolan Wells' death that you can receive that information. I do want to highlight two other young teens that maybe you don't know about. That was the purpose of me bringing up Brother Nolan Wells, because there are two other teens that maybe you have or have not heard about that I wanted to acknowledge. To acknowledge them, they are both deceased. But Daniel Irving, you may have heard his name a little bit more than the next name I'll share with you. But Daniel Irving, young black teen, excuse me, he was reported that he was with two other young men, or not young men. Well, yeah, young men, teenagers. Let me just stick with teenagers. It was a 19-year-old and a juvenile 17. And so it was alleged that the three of them were together and that they jumped off a railroad bridge into a lake. What was the name of the lake? Something Bay. What was it? Bay. Lake Ray Hubbard. Okay, so Lake Ray Hubbard. So they were, probably, I guess doing what teens do, just having fun during the summer. Anyway, it was alleged that they jumped off the railroad bridge into the lake. It was noted that while the young men or the teens that were with Daniel Irving resurfaced, Daniel Irving did not resurface. His body was found on April 17th. According to the autopsy report obtained by ABC News, it indicated that the Daniel Irving's death was an accidental drowning. The report also noted, this is a quote, once the decedent became submerged and didn't resurface, the other two individuals disposed of the decedent's belongings and failed to report the incident to authorities, leading to the decedent not being found for 4 days. Unquote. And so it is noted, and I've actually put it later. So let me get there now. Daniel Irving was last seen on April 13th in Rolette, Texas. And then his body was found in Lake Ray Hubbard near Dallas, Texas on April 17th. And so again, when he did not resurface, the two teens disposed of his belongings, and they did not report the incident to authorities. So it is noted in an affidavit that Lucas Roper, who was a 19-year-old, he allegedly admitted during a voluntary interview that he, quote unquote, panicked after Irving drowned. He also admitted that he and the 17-year-old, they did leave the scene. In addition, according to the affidavit, Lucas Roper admitted to deleting all communication with Irving from his cell phone because he, quote, was aware that there would be an investigation into Daniel Irving's death, and he did not want to get into trouble, unquote. So I'm taking off my glasses and closing my eyes. So it was not, I didn't read anywhere in the report that the three teens were friends. I don't know if they were friends, if they were neighborhood pals. I don't know anything about their relationship because I did not see that in the report. I have so many things to say. Like if I'm with somebody, even if I'm not friends with them, if I'm with somebody and we're swimming or somewhere and one of them gets lost, okay, in this event he did not resurface, they didn't resurface, we're out in the woods playing and we get separated and we can't find somebody, or if we're in a, out in a city and we're going to the movies or whatever, a lot of people on the sidewalk and we get misplaced. I'm calling 911. I'm calling their mama, my mama, everybody's mama. Somebody help us find my friend, or at least the person that I'm with, because we may not be friends or close friends, but I'm still concerned about your well-being. So I'd be doggone anybody's my mama, your mama, somebody mama. We done lost a child, we done lost a friend, we done lost somebody in our group. We need some help. So, and I understand that Brother Roper was saying he was fearful. Teenagers, they have different responses to different things, um, and their responses is different, from adults oftentimes. But I feel bad about this entire situation for Daniel Irving, who is, no longer with us. But the teens, I don't know. If he drowned, then like why not say like our friend didn't come back up from the water? Can somebody look for him? Because maybe he was still alive. I can't say. Because I don't know. I didn't see a time frame as to when they actually jumped in the lake, when they resurfaced, if they jumped in all and then they all resurfaced and went back under. Like there were no details about that portion of their being at the lake, but they just know he didn't resurface, and they disposed of his belongings, like his clothes and his cell phone. They did get rid of Brother Irving's clothes and Brother Irving's cell phone. I think they were later retrieved by police. And so the two young men were charged for, let me see what they were charged for. Accused, they are accused of failing to report his death, Daniel Irving's death, and they were charged with tampering with evidence for disposing of Irving's cell phone and clothes and deleting messages between them. So they were charged for in those areas. I don't know if what else the autopsy revealed, like if maybe Brother Daniel Irving sustained injury to his head or anything like that. I did not see that information was not in ABC News, which is where I got this from. I did not see that anywhere. I don't know if the autopsy is complete or if that was a preliminary report. Well, it had to be complete for them to say it was an accidental drowning. It has to be complete. So I don't know all of the details in the report, but he drowned. And the thing about it is his mom, and I do have a quote from his mom. His mom said that he was on the swim team, that Daniel Irving was on the swim team. And so, wow, that's something, because if you're I'm trying to figure out how it happened. That's why I was wondering, like, did he, because depending on, like, I don't know if these teens knew what was on the bottom of this lake, like if there was something that caused injury to Daniel Irving that he could not resurface, maybe an object in the lake that you couldn't see from the water. Like, I don't know. And it didn't say anything about currents, because we had a lake, not an ocean. So it didn't say anything about any heavy currents or anything like that. So it's just interesting. It's very interesting. This is a quote from Daniel Irving's mom, Miss Tamika Irving. She was at a press conference on July 13th, and she said, quote, a reasonable minded person would know that if you were not guilty of a crime, why would you throw away his phone, throw away his clothes, and not call his mother? I want justice for my son. I want justice for Daniel. End quote. So, as of Tuesday, the Dallas Police Department is investigating this death, and, or excuse me, with support from the Rolette Police Department, since he was seen last in Rolette and passed away, near Dallas. Well, his body was found near Dallas. I'll say that. His body was found near Dallas. I don't know. Y'all have any thoughts on that? I have questions. I don't know if I have any thought. I do have thoughts, but I have more questions than thoughts. I'm like, was there something? Did he hit his head? Was there something under the water that they couldn't see? Um, how in the heck did he drown? Were there like, did he get snagged on something and he couldn't like swim up? Was he trying to call for help? Were there some bubbles that other teams could have seen to help rescue him? Did they try to help rescue him? When he went under, well, when they resurfaced and he didn't, and they go looking for him, like none of that was in the information that I was reading. So I have more questions and I have thoughts about it, or maybe equal thoughts and questions, but I don't know. I don't know what the police have, or how their line of questioning has been for those young people. I don't know, but I think it was noted. It was noted that the juvenile's mom did note that her child went to help him. So Daniel Irving, 18 years old. All right, the next one, because my time is going, and oops. The next one is Tyler Smith. Now I'd heard Daniel Irving's about Daniel Irving, but not Tyler Smith. So this death, it is a death. I'm not trying to bring us down, y'all. I'm really not trying to bring us down with all these deaths, but it's just stuff we need to know and be aware of. So Tyler Smith, this happened in Lexington, Kentucky. He died of a gunshot wound on July 4th. He recently graduated from Lafayette High School. Authorities noted that Bryce Chestnut, 20. Before I get here, let me say this. Well, let me just go with what I got down, so I can just go. Bryce Chestnut, 20, gave Tyler Smith a gun, and Tyler Smith used it on himself. Now, it is noted by authorities that there was a different gun found. Oh, let me backtrack so you can have it all. Bryce Chestnut, 20, gave Tyler the gun. Tyler used it on himself, and then Chestnut allegedly removed the gun after that incident happened. However, a different gun was found near Tyler Smith's body. And it did not. I said it did not, or the report said it did not match the shell casings that were found on the scene. Which, if the gun was removed, shell casings, that's logical. And just so you'll know, Bryce Chestnut has been charged with evidence tampering. So attorney Ben Crump, he is representing the family. He's also representing the family of brother Nolan Wells, ancestor Nolan Wells, right? As well as Daniel Irving's. And so attorney Ben Crump is representing all three of these families: the Wells family, Daniel Irving's family, and Tyler Smith's family. So he noted that Tyler was, quote, at a house party let me try it again. Tyler was, quote, right, this is a quote, at a house party with about 10 other people, unquote. Attorney Crump also noted that Tyler was he was the only black person at this particular party. Yes, my eyes are closed because I this is the it was noted by the persons that were there, these about 10 or so people that were there, that they were playing Russian roulette. And if you don't know what Russian roulette is, look it up. Just look it up. I just look it up. I have a cousin that was playing Russian roulette. How many years ago? Over 35 years ago, he lost his life. I really don't know why anybody would play games with a gun. Like, gun is not a it's not a toy, and it's not anything that you play with. Like, it's not you just don't play with guns because why? They kill people. So, but this is what the persons that were at this party, and I'm doing quote unquote a party playing Russian roulette. I don't know what kind of party that is, but let me keep reading. It has also been noted that the other people there made claims that they were playing a game of Russian roulette. I don't know why. Who came up with Russian roulette? Who say it's a game? Because see, when you attach the word game to something, that means that we're enjoying ourselves, we're having fun. There's probably going to be some laughter, there's going to be some junk talking. Russian roulette and game, they don't go together. They don't go together. Any a gun is a weapon. Like it's a weapon. It's not a toy. It has also been noted that the other people there made claims that they're playing a game. They say a game is what is the report said a game, a Russian roulette, and Tyler accidentally shot himself while they were playing the game. So I consider myself to be an intelligent person, but I may or may not be the sharpest crayon in the crayon box, as I hear friends say. But even as a teenager, I know I'm a grown person now, but even as just I remember my teenager, I had sense enough not to go along with the crowd. I just had sense enough not to. And anything that would put my life in danger that the crowd may have been doing, Stephanie was not going to do that. Like I'm trying to live to declare the works of the Lord. I'm not trying to die prematurely for any reason or for anybody. Because I'm just like, if this is what was happening, there wasn't a voice of reason amongst the 10 or so that were there, almost 10, close to 10, over 10, to the people that there was nobody that said, y'all, we better put this gun on. But matter of fact, why are we even getting the gun out? Like no voice of reason. Okay, let me go back to the reader. Okay, I'm just Attorney Crump noted that the police that allegedly did not conduct gunpowder residue tests on any of the attendees, including Tyler Smith, because as we know, when you shoot a gun, there is residue. Fingers that they weren't tested for residue, not even Brother Tyler's. Um, of course, the Smith family, they're like, that was not a self-inflicted wound. That's what their thoughts are about that. Um, so this case is currently under investigation. What y'all think? I mean, these are young people. These are 18-year-olds, y'all, that have lost their life. Just graduated high school. I didn't see in the report that I was reading what Tyler Smith's plans were. So I don't know if he was planning college, military, workforce. Trade school, it did not say. I would have to do a little bit more research to get that information, and I didn't before I came on. I'm just sad that they all lost their life, especially playing, especially if this is true, they were, playing. I know I keep saying playing. If they were participating in this Russian roulette. All right, y'all. I think I probably should move on. Look, in other bad news, I'm sorry, y'all. I did not mean to give. I didn't. I didn't even realize I got all bad news tonight. But we will rejoice because God is still good. And comfort and prayer, continue comfort and prayer to Nolan Wells' family, to Daniel Irving's family, and to Tyler Smith's family. Young man passed away at 18. Way too young, in my opinion, just my opinion, way too young to be leaving this earth. I know we all have an appointed time, but I'll be doggone. I feel like sometimes these appointed times get fast forwarded to a place where, they get fast forwarded. I just, feel like sometimes people are just fast forwarded out of here, die prematurely. So last bit of news. Last bit of news, you all. Gosh, I hated this one, but I wanted us to hear this so that we can have the information and you can do some further research on this as you need to, want to, if you need to, want to. So, Dr. Tanisha Warren, who is the widow of Malcolm Jamal Warner, I said Warren, I'm sorry, let me try again. Dr. Tanisha Warner, the widow of Malcolm Jamal Warner, has filed a lawsuit that notes she is owed more than $1.2 million under a premarital agreement with her late husband. The lawsuit was filed in DeKalb County in Georgia on July 20th. She is said to be owed the following: a $1 million life insurance policy. She also noted that she was promised $16,000 tax-free each year, $16,000 tax-free, I guess, gift or donation or whatever term was used each year on their wedding anniversary. I think they got married in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all look that up because I didn't write it down. Maybe 2017, maybe. But promised 16,000 tax-free of money each year on their wedding anniversary. She is said to be owed funds for her Roth IRA account for as long as they remained married, and $5,000 a month for working as his chief of staff and assistant. And so Miss Pamela Warner, who is Malcolm, not Michael, but Malcolm Jamal Warner's mom, she is the successor trust of the Warren Family Trust. She's also named in the lawsuit since she controls the estate, essentially. Her name is included in the lawsuit. Dr. Warner notes, this is a quote, she was actually talking to ABC News. And so, quote, "For the last year, I have attempted to privately settle my beloved husband's complicated estate and honor his last wishes. Malcolm had every intention to provide for our 9-year-old daughter and me. He was close to finalizing a new estate plan to replace the stale plan created in 1996 when he was 26 years old. 20 years before before we met, and well before we gave birth to our beautiful daughter. Sadly, he was unable to do so before we lost him." Dr. Warner goes on to say, quote, "I have been struggling to care for our daughter as a single mom and now as her sole provider. Legally, I had no choice but to take action to protect our rights before any potential statute of limitations expired. We thank you for your we thank you for your support, love, and understanding as we work through this painful process while honoring Malcolm's life on the first anniversary of his death." And that is the end of quote. It's been a year, you all, since Brother Malcolm passed away. Gosh, it doesn't seem like it's been a year. And so I hope that this works out in the favor of Miss Pamela, Dr. Tanisha, and Dr. Tanisha and Malcolm's daughter. I hope it works out just in everybody's favor in a way that hopefully Brother Malcolm would have wanted it to work out. I wish I had some more details because I had, questions about this. Like Dr. Tanisha said that it was in a prenup, excuse me, a premarital agreement. I was wondering, was that a written premarital agreement or a verbal premarital agreement? And I know verbal agreements can be legally binding. Can't say that they're all the time, but they can be legally binding. But just wondering, was that premarital agreement written down somewhere? Because I was like, that would help shed light on Brother Malcolm's intent. And he established his estate when he was 26, um, which was good, like a 26-year-old. And I know his mom was his manager for most, if not all, of his career, especially when he was younger, because he, started acting when he was younger. And so for him to establish his estate plan at that young of an age was smart, very smart. And they, like I said, they were married for 2017, I think is when they got married. Y'all fact check that. And so, I just hope that it all works out. And, there was a report about Brother Chadwick Boseman. I just don't want to get into his. Y'all can look it up for yourself, okay? So that's all the news that I have. Like I said, I didn't mean to have all bad news, but this is where we are. Y'all know the war with Iran is still waging. And we say war, I mean, even though it shouldn't be a war, because like I said earlier, Congress is the only one that declares war, but here we are. Voting is coming up. I didn't write this down, but I do want to let you all know that we're in primary season yet and still. General election is in for some states. Let me not say a date. Check your local. In general, it's November 3rd. General election is November 3rd, but I know some states have their general elections at different times. So I know in my area it's November 3rd. I think September is when early voting starts in my area. So please, please, please check your state Board of Elections website. Check your state Board of Elections website to find out the dates for early voting, for absentee voting, for mail-in voting, all those dates, all of that information for voting, voting locations, those that are still open, those that may be closed, like all of that information will be found on your state Board of Elections website. So please check it out. Also, this is a reminder, if nobody has reminded you today or this week, check your voter registration to ensure that you are still an active voter. If you are not an active voter, visit your state Board of Elections website. Of course, that's where you're going to find out if you're still active or not, but look up information as to how you can, or why you're not an active voter and how you can reconcile that. You can also go to the office, your state board of, or not your state Board of Elections, excuse me, your county Board of Elections office, and they can support you as well. And all of that information should be on the state Board of Elections website. And then, of course, you can find specific information there for your county, or you can go to your county page, your county government page, and there's information about voting there as well. Okay, but definitely check out the state Board of Election website, because it will have the details of the elections that are happening in your state. And at this point, I know I've been telling people to check their state Board of Election, to check their voter registration regularly, but I got a recommendation to check at least weekly. Then I got another recommendation to check 2 to 3 times a week. So as often as you feel so led, check to ensure that your voter registration is still active. Okay, that is so important to do. As a matter of fact, the last time I checked mine was Sunday or Saturday. sometime this weekend. But this week, sometime this week, either Saturday, Sunday, at some point over the last week, I have checked my voter registration. So I'm due. I'm due a check. I'm due a check. But I want to give you these dates, you all. So these dates are from when we all vote. And so some of you all have some midterms coming up. So let me see. Let me go down the list. Because it has all the states here. All right, so Delaware, your date. Oh, let me go back up to Alaska. Your date is August 18th. Connecticut, your date is August 11th. Delaware, September, is that a 5? Yep, September 15th. Florida, August 18th. Hawaii, August 8th. Kansas, August 4th. Massachusetts, September 1st. And I do remember going over this before. I'm going to go over it again, probably again. Again now, probably again later. Michigan, August 4th. Minnesota, August 11th. Missouri, August 4th. New Hampshire, September 8th. Rhode Island, September 9th. Tennessee, August 6th. Vermont, August 11th. Virginia, August 4th. Wisconsin, let me make sure that's right. Yep, Virginia, August 4th. Washington, August 4th. That is state of Washington. Wisconsin, August 11th, and Wyoming, August 18th. Those are your midterm election dates. Please make sure that you are checking again your State Board of Elections website to see when early voting may be happening now, especially if you have an August primary date. And so go ahead and check that State Board of Elections website, see when early voting is, so you can take advantage of that if you so choose. Or make sure if you don't participate in early voting, make sure that you vote. Like if you don't participate in early voting or mail-in ballots or whatever other ways you can vote, make sure that you vote on election day. It is so important that we vote, and you all vote your conviction. Look up and see all the information about the candidates is on the State Board of Elections website. Check out the website, see who's running, see what see what government offices are up for election in your area. Do the research, check out the history of the candidates, the incumbents, see what they've done. And are they the right person to stay, or do you need somebody new in office? Do your research, make sure that you know who's running, and vote your conviction. Vote who you want to vote for, vote your conviction, vote who you think is best for you, your family, and your community, okay? Oftentimes, I feel like all states do this, but I can't guarantee that, so check your State Board of Elections website. You can get I know in my area, we can get a sample ballot. I think in most areas, if not all, you can get a sample ballot so that you can look at the ballot. That will help you see who's running and what government offices are opened for election or re-election. And do the research and go ahead and, fill out your sample ballot. I do that religiously, y'all. I've been doing it for a little while now. I will print off my sample ballot, sit right here. I go ahead and bubble in who I want to vote for. I'll fold it up real neat, put it in my pocket when I'm going to vote, pull it out. Sometimes I'll do it that way. I do it that way anyway, but actually going into voting, sometimes I'll take that sample ballot. If it's a small one, I'll take it. If it's a larger one, I'll usually write it on a sticky note. I write the position, I write the person I'm voting for on a sticky note, pull that out of my pocket when I get there to make sure that I'm voting for the people that I've already researched ahead of time and who I believe is the best candidate for that particular office, okay? So you don't have to follow my plan, but come up with your own plan, whatever works for you. Make sure that you register to vote, you make a plan to vote, and you vote. And encourage your family, encourage your friends, encourage your coworkers, encourage your church members, encourage your the people that you serve on nonprofits with, or community organizations, even people that you don't like. Say vote, vote for who you believe is the best candidate. Okay, if you don't like them, still encourage them to vote. If they're not registered, child, go to the County Board of Elections, get you some registration forms and get people registered. Turn the form back in. I don't hold the form, turn it back in so that form can be processed and that person can be ready to vote in November or whenever your general election date is. Okay, I think that's my voting spiel, and I am Stephanie Humphrey, and I approve that message. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Last thing I want to say is we are praying for the people of Southeast Louisiana and Texas as Hurricane Bertha has made a little bit of landfall, supposed to make a second landfall, I believe, in Louisiana, then moving into Texas tomorrow. And so praying for the families and citizens and peoples that are there, and praying that you all are staying safe and that you're prepared and that you will hopefully sustain minimum to no damage at all. I'm sorry, it's not a hurricane, it's a tropical storm. Tropical Storm Bertha. Tropical Storm Bertha. Make sure I get my terminology right. Tropical Storm Bertha. So I had planned to go over some hurricane preparedness information, but it's a lot. So I'm not going to do it. I will, however, put the link for the information on or in the description afterwards so that you all can look it up for yourselves. We should all be prepared. Hurricane season runs until November 30th, y'all. It started in June for some areas, and I think it started in July for other areas. I can't remember the start dates, or it's two different start dates depending on the area. But regardless of the start dates, hurricane season ends on November 30th for everybody. And so we still have a couple of months, you all, that we might be experiencing hurricanes or tropical storms. And the like. So let's be prepared. Let's make sure that we have, a radio, a battery operated radio, the National Oceanic, what's the AA stand for? The NOAA weather band radio, if you can, like get one of those battery operated, or maybe, or a dual, maybe it's battery operated and you can plug it in, so you can go ahead and plug it in, charge it, but then have the batteries in the event your electricity goes out. Make sure that you have enough water for a couple of days, supply for everybody. Have an evacuation plan for your family. Maybe practice that plan ahead of time so that everybody knows what to do. And y'all, this is just me remembering what I read, so I'm just going off my memory, but I'll give you the specific information in the description. Just like we practice fire safety and practicing a plan if the house or other location that we're in catches on fire, then we need to have a plan for our during hurricane season. So have a plan, evacuation plan, a safety plan for your family, whether it's in the house if you're sheltering in place, or whether it's in an alternate location, a safer location, like if you can get to that location ahead of time. Make sure that you have, food, medication, important documents in a water resistant container or folder, or something water resistant that could sustain if you do need to evacuate. Send medications, food for the children, elderly. If you have pets and you're able to, hopefully you're able to take your pets with you when you go. Because I know some shelters do, allow for that. Make sure that you have what you need for your pet, food and those things. Make sure you have enough, not about to say enough food, enough, changes of clothes. Women, have your sanitary products. Get you some, everybody get your soap and deodorant. I keep a bag packed in the car. I've been doing that for years, a couple of decades actually, just in case, I just never know. So I try to stay ready. Some things slip me, but I do try to stay ready. What else? Those are the things that I can think of right off the top of my head. Paper goods. Keep you some paper goods handy, like your emergency preparedness kit. Have some paper plates and napkins, paper towels, plastic, silverware, wipes, disinfecting wipe, like baby wipes for cleaning hands, or hand sanitizing wipes. As well as sanitizing wipes, like hand sanitizer wipes, but actually cleaning sanitizing wipes, like disinfectant wipes. Have some hand sanitizer. You can have, hand sanitizer, hand wipes, both, because I do like both. And so those are just a few things I can think off the top of my head. Oh, first aid kit. Make sure that you have a first aid kit with some adhesive bandages in it, some ointment. I actually have a healing ointment by Browndages. Y'all know that's my company to purchase my adhesive bandages from, because it's skin tone. And they actually have a healing balm that I love it. I absolutely love this healing balm. And so that is actually in my first aid kit. I add one to, no, I didn't add one to my car. I have a first aid kit at my desk at my job, but I don't have one. I don't have, and it's the healing balm is in there. I don't have a healing balm for my car first aid kit, so I need to get one. Or at least I think I got two in here, so I maybe put one in the car. Anyway, side note for myself. But maybe a healing ointment. What else do you do in a first aid kit? I haven't looked at one in so long. Tweezers, gauze, or at least I don't like gauze, but like they have that non-gauze pads that you can use for scrapes and cuts. Some alcohol wipes or swabs. That's all I can think of right now for the first aid kit. I don't know why. I said alcohol wipes already. Yeah. And whatever else. Y'all know what's in your first aid kit. Y'all know what y'all need. Scissors, in case you need to cut something, like maybe cut off clothing if someone gets hurt or, during the storm. But again, I'll put the information in the description. So you all, I'm done. It is 7. I got to put my glasses on. Ooh, child. 7:32. I was like, is that a 3 or a 2? It is 7:30, so I'm done, y'all. I'm done with Sip and Say with Stephanie tonight. I hope you all, I know, gosh, I'm not even going to say that because news was not really happy news tonight. But I hope that the news tonight was informative if you didn't know what was happening. And so, hey, Uncle Darnell, glad that you joined tonight. So I'm going to end the broadcast again. I don't know if we're on tomorrow or not tomorrow. We're not on tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to come next Thursday because it's the 5th Thursday. But if not, I will be back in August, y'all. It's going to be August in about a week. It's going to be August. So I will be back. If not next Thursday, I will be back August 6th, 2026, Lord willing. I'll be back and I'll have some news for y'all. No, my news won't come until, because they're not doing this stuff until mid-August. And so I won't have news for you until maybe August 13th if they do mine, because it starts back on the 12th. So maybe the 13th or the 20th, I'll have some news for you all. Lord willing, Lord delay his coming, like my dad says. But I'll see you all later. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Oh, I do want to acknowledge that this month is Disability Awareness Month. So if you have adults or children in your community that have a disability, show them some extra love this month. Learn about disabilities and what that means for individuals that are living with disabilities and navigating life with disabilities. So do some research, get educated, and support some people, again, individuals with disabilities. It is also Minority Awareness Month. I'm sorry, I said Minority Awareness Month, Lord. Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you consider yourself a minority, then make sure that you're paying extra attention to your mental health this month. Get educated, get some information about it. I might be on next week doing something with Be Well Connection for Minority Mental Health Awareness. I did consider that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, you all, those are the 2 days. There's a lot else going on with national days, but those are the 2 that I'd focused on for this month. Okay. All right, y'all. I promise I'm done. I hope you all have a wonderful night, a blessed weekend, and Lord willing, I will see you in a week or 2. You all take care. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.